It's going to be a long video for all my Star Wars fans, but let me ask you guys this. Except for the sequel trilogy, because I already know what a lot of people's opinions are going to be on it. For me, for instance, I don't really mind it. It has a lot of problems, sure, but it's a fun time to kill, you know? But the question I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts so far on every piece of Star Wars show that we gotten so far, from Mandalorian all the way to Ahsoka? And what do you think the future of Star Wars will be? Here's my thoughts on the shows and what I think the future will consist of. I love the first two seasons of The Mandalorian. I loved Rebels. I love the Clone Wars, especially the final season. Just masterpiece, beautiful. But Mandalorian season 3, it was a hit or miss for me. Sometimes it was good, but then sometimes it was bad. But I'm going to get to that later on in the video. But as far as like the Bad Batch and Andor, I love them. People weren't really big fans of the Bad Batch and especially Andor. But you know what? Sometimes it just isn't all about lightsaber combat and all that stuff. I actually kind of like the dark, gritty, and political side of Star Wars when it comes to it. And then the Book of Boba Fett show. This is where the Star Wars shows kind of start falling off a little bit, in my opinion, just how I feel about it. I was excited because Boba Fett was a badass in season 2, and I'm thinking, oh, dude, we're going to get the grittiest fucking Star Wars show, Criminal Underground, all that badass stuff. Hoping kind of like a Grand Theft Auto style type of criminal underworld story, but no, it's just, it wasn't what I expected. And I get it, Boba kind of went a little soft and he was a little bit more understanding and compassionate ever since his encounters with the Tusken Raiders when he escaped from the Starlight Pit. But I just felt like his character was so inconsistent. Like, he'd be badass one minute, and then the next he would just go soft. It's like, no, dude, you're a fucking bounty hunter. You gotta live up to your father's Django's name, dude. Like, you're a badass for a reason. I know people kind of complain about the group of biker gang that he has for bodyguards to kind of help him keep order. I didn't really mind them. They were kind of annoying, but that's not really a big deal for me. But one of the biggest deals for me, along with Boba Fett being kind of inconsistent in his own show, is that every Star Wars character appeared in this show, and it got annoying. Like, I love Luke Skywalker. I was happy when he showed up in the Mandalorian season 2 finale, and I kept thinking, oh great, we're gonna get a Luke Skywalker TV show that has Grogu probably training with them. We might even see a young Kylo Ren. We get to see who Luke Skywalker is, but then we get a whole episode dedicated to that, and it's like it was just a backdoor pilot for the Ahsoka show, and it was Mandalorian season 2.5. I just didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't like it, if you get what I'm trying to say. And then we get this whole side plot with Mando trying to set up for season 3 with the Darksaber, Mandalore, all that, and I just don't like it. Like, I get it, books have different chapters, I understand that, but this is the time for Boba Fett to be his own fucking badass, and for me, it just kind of failed. And then when I see Cad Bane, like every Clone Wars fans was fucking excited for his introduction, I also felt kind of let down because I felt like he would have been a great antagonist for this whole fucking season. Like, you could have cut out a lot of the flashbacks or maybe trim them up a little bit. But Cad Bane should have been introduced in episode 3. That way, the whole season could have been Boba and Cad trying to fight to be the next criminal underlord and the seize control. I felt like that would have been cool because we could have got that grittiness. But I will say that the Book of Boba Fett, there are qualities I did like about it. Getting to know Boba a little bit more, just see him kind of, calm down. But I wish we just would have got more badassery from him, and it would have felt more like a Boba Fett show. And then here comes the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and I didn't mind it. I don't think it was perfect. I didn't think it was that bad. I just think it was okay. But then here comes the Ahsoka show, and how I felt mixed about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I was kind of worried about Ahsoka, but Ahsoka was a lot better than Obi-Wan Kenobi, in my humble opinion. It's just my opinion, people. Don't get mad. And seeing Hayden Christensen again as Anakin Skywalker and his fucking Clone Wars armor was just badass and amazing. And in Clone Wars flashbacks, I loved it. And now let's talk about the future of Star Wars. And our man Dave Filoni has just been promoted to Chief Creative Officer, meaning that he's going to have a lot of creative control and oversee a lot of Star Wars properties. And if you watch the end of Ahsoka, spoilers, Grand Admiral Thrawn finally escaped where he was from, and now it's going to be all-out war. But Dave Filoni did say he was going to have a Mando-verse type of movie to kind of end all the shows like Mandalorian and so on and so on. And I'm thinking it might be a trilogy for Heir to the Empire. And I highly recommend, if you haven't read Heir to the Empire, yes, this is just Legends canon now, but there's still a good trilogy. I love it. I highly recommend it for any Star Wars fan. But for those I have read Heir to the Empire, that entire storyline trilogy, we all know what might happen. I'm so fucking excited. It just kind of sucks because I kind of wish this was a sequel trilogy. It would have been cool. I understand that the actors did age, so you kind of have to play around with it. Or if Disney really wanted to, they could have recasted. But if you do this Mando verse movie right, or I think it should be a trilogy, if you do this movie trilogy right, Disney will have officially saved Star Wars, in my opinion, and they will make so much money. And think about it, we kind of have the laying foundation with Luke Skywalker returning, him knowing of Ahsoka, and they're going to have Boba Fett and the Mandalorian team up with them. And let's not forget Bo-Katan and all the other Mandalorians for Mandalorian Season 3. They're going to be a great asset in fighting against the Empire. We got Ezra and Sabine. I actually like their characters. I know people kind of complained about Sabine, and I was, on her character, but I didn't really mind her. Hell, let's bring back Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo again, just kind of age him up a bit, and it would be fucking cool. Just imagine all those Mandalorian characters that we've seen, from Boba Fett, the Mandalorian, Grogu, Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan. You get what I'm trying to say? Kind of like this, like in Avengers Endgame, a Portals-like scene of all of them together going against Grand Admiral Thrawn and the Empire. Hell, fucking throw in Cal Kestis, dude, because I want to see this dude in live action. That'd be badass, too. And so I'm asking for Dave Filoni and Disney and Star Wars, just please, if you guys do adapt this trilogy storyline, make it fucking amazing. You gotta give back for a lot of Star Wars fans, because Star Wars fans, whether or not you like what's been coming out of Disney, I think they deserve a treat like this. Just one epic storyline in a trilogy, not just one movie, but in a trilogy. And I promise you, Disney will save Star Wars if they do this, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you're even interested in the Heir to the Empire trilogy, which I'm probably going to assume a lot of people are going to say yeah. But let me know in the comments below if you think this will save Star Wars, or how would you do it? I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts.